need to take my necklace off. I fixed the angle of this. This feels slightly high up there. I'm in my bathroom, if you can't tell. If you hear noise, it sounds like the ocean. It's a sound machine. My kids are napping. I'm gonna be dyeing my hair today with Overtone. I have done Overtone, or I've done it. I've used Overtone in the past. I used like a red one time. It's been like, I think 2 years. It's at least been over a year since I've last dyed my hair. But let me show you guys. I have a lot of grays. So let me just fix this. So as you can see, I have some grays. I'm in my late 20s if you're curious. And yes, I have grays on this side as well. As you can see, they're not too bad. It's really just more on my temples than anything right now. But I would like to not have those right now. When I'm older, I plan on like, you know, letting my hair just be gray, like let it naturally, because I've seen a lot of people who, you know, just let their hair like turn gray, and it's got like the gray and the white, and it's like wavy, and it looks so cool, so pretty. Which when I get older, I'm planning on doing that. This is so like high. Let me fix you guys. I feel like I'm whispering, which I'm trying not to yell. I'm trying not to, because like I said, kids are napping. But yes, I'm gonna dye my hair, so let's just chat. I finally caved and have been reading the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. It's 5 books. I just finished book 2 last night, and oh my gosh. If you haven't read those books, let me just take a time out. I freaking love certain people. The Night Court. I love the Night Court, that's all I'm gonna say. Yeah, what was the point of this? Oh, I wanted to talk about like spirituality, like my journey with it, where I'm at, and yeah, so using Overtone, gonna dye my hair. I'm actually gonna take my watch off so I don't get, you know, stuff on it. I felt like filming today. I've honestly felt really good today. I went to the gym this morning and I ran 2 miles on the treadmill, and you know, I don't know if it's runner's high or if it's a mixture of like everything. My husband also just brought me cake from work, so I ate some cake, and yeah, like I said, it's been a good morning. Usually you want to use gloves. Also, I'm using the color Espresso Brown. Hair color deposits in 10 to 15 minutes, that's what it says. I'm gonna leave it for 30 minutes. That's what I normally do when I dye my hair, is I like to leave it for at least 30 minutes. So I'm literally just gonna put it on my hair, and it, like, if you look at it, it like matches. My hands are gonna be dyed, but it's okay. I'll wash them. It'll go away. It's fine. It smells so good. It smells like toothpaste. Oh, it smells like toothpaste. It smells amazing. That's something I remember, like, the last time I did this. Like, I remember it smells so good. Yeah, it's been like a year since I dyed my hair. And the last time I dyed my hair, I also did like a conditioning dye like this, but it wasn't this brand. It was one off of Amazon. I got this from Sprouts. I finally feel like I'm in a good place with my spirituality and just like connecting to the universe and God and receiving messages and signs, and just overall, like, I just feel so good, like mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, like overall well-rounded. I feel very balanced at the moment. I feel like all of my chakras are aligned, and I just wanted to share, like, I just want to connect and talk. But so I have been on this like wellness, on this journey, you know, to be like healthier mind, body, and soul for honestly a couple years. But it's only like the past year that I've really kind of gotten back into, like, not, I wouldn't say gotten back into, but like just relit, like my eyes have been like opened back, and so I felt like my eyes were closed for a while, just because of like trauma and stuff that I had been through. And so I feel like I should let's kind of do this, target certain areas instead of just spreading it everywhere. This stuff really smells like toothpaste. Like, it doesn't smell like chemicals. My hands are gonna be so like, it's fine. And I have gloves, it's okay. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, so I grew up like Christian, and when I say grew up, it wasn't like I was raised in the church. It wasn't until high school that I really started going to church, and that's like another story, but like, yeah. So I lived in a small town. I started going to like a Baptist church because like my friends did, my cousins did. Like, that's what you did in small towns. There's nothing to do, so we go to the church together, and I really liked it. I liked learning about God. I hadn't ever really been to church, and so anyways, really only grew up knowing about like Christianity, like in high school specifically, and then in college, like kind of just further leaned into that, like my freshman year and part of my like sophomore year. And then after that, I just kind of like, I don't want to say like abandoned religion, because I didn't. I had moments where I'd go back and forth with like what I believed and like Christianity in general. But it's only been recently that I've like really allowed myself to just kind of be more open with everything. And what I mean by that is like, I'm not following a specific religion. I don't believe that like any specific religion is like right or wrong. Like, I think that everything is open for your own interpretation, and I think over the years, like, people can mistranslate stuff, specifically like with the Bible, but I feel like that with every religion, you know, things can be morphed and changed for people's agendas. And so I'm really just leaning into like talking to God, the universe, praying, and like being open to signs and like listening to my guides and stuff. Like, I watch tarot readings. I've gotten my own cards, and I've started like doing my own readings for myself occasionally. But yeah, I'm really just like open to what God, the universe, like wants to send my way. And like, I didn't get to this point until like 6 months ago, and I think part of it is I have been healing a lot of trauma from childhood. I'm no contact with my mom. I grew up being raised by my mom. She was like a single mother, and there's a lot of baggage and trauma from childhood and even adulthood. But I had to, like, for my own mental health and sanity, like, go no contact. And through that, there has been so many challenges and just growth with getting rid of people-pleasing ways and tendencies, and really just being okay, like, knowing that I don't have to, like, I'm not going to please everybody. And my hands, I really should have worn gloves, but you know, it'll be okay. It'll wash out. This past year, I've been in therapy for almost a year with this specific therapist. I've been in and out of therapy for years, but with this therapist that I've had, this is the longest I've had like one therapist. It's been almost a year, and I've just had a lot of growth, and this is the year that I just really push myself to do what I feel called to do, and like really let go of other people's expectations that they have, like their projections. I'm just letting it go and trusting myself and trusting God, trusting my guides. And I know that this year is going to be magical. It already has been so far. Like I said, I, didn't grow up like going to church. It wasn't until high school, but those years that I was plugged into the church, I was deeply in. And so I feel like that really affected my lens, how I saw the world, how I interacted with the world. It did not help like my people-pleasing ways. It was very much like, I have to do A, B, and C because I'm a follower of Christ, and I have to be Christ-like, and I have to show others like God's love, like God is always using me, I'm a vessel, and that is still true, that is still true. I am being used by God, and I am a vessel, but like it's more than that, and it's not like God is like, okay, like you need to always put others first and never say no and never stand up for yourself and not have boundaries. Like that is not what like a relationship with God is like. And I think because of the religion that I was stuck in, or I was following for those like really crucial like years of finding out who I was, that time, in high school and in college, it's supposed to be like discovering who you are and like what you believe, where you exist, like where you fit in the world. And I think I was so like indoctrinated in like being Christ-like and being this like there was so much pressure, like being a girl, and I feel like that's just prevalent like in general. Like there's so much pressure on girls, on women to act a certain way, look a certain way, like, and I feel like there, men there are certain expectations on men, but I just feel like there's so much pressure on women and girls, and I felt like I just fit into this mold, I was just like, okay, like this is how I need to be, and this is how I'm going to interact with the world, and like didn't question stuff. Okay, I'm gonna be able to be closer so I can actually see what I'm doing instead of just mindlessly putting it. I don't remember specifically what I was saying, but yeah, I finally am at a point where I'm doing my own thing. Been no contact with my mom. That's caused a lot of issues with that side of the family. Like I said, I grew up being raised by my mom, and so like that's the side of the family that I really grew up having a relationship with, and all of that family, because of my decision to go no contact, has been really just not understanding, not supportive, really projecting. And part of that, people, my mom's an alcoholic, and people are like, oh, well, she works and she did a lot for you growing up, and yada yada yada. Point is, I've learned I don't really need to get other people's approval. I'm never gonna have everybody's approval. And also, like, what is life if I'm just trying to, like, what is my life if I'm just using it to try to make other people happy? And if I'm not happy, then what am I doing? Because I have one life to live. And also, like, if people would rather, like, try to save face
to like what other people think about them and their family and stuff, like, and normalize abuse. And when people are willingly going to ignore like abuse and normalize it and normalize alcoholism and say excuses like, oh, at the end of the day, that's your mom. Like, I know that's my mom. She's always going to be my mom. But that doesn't mean I have to have a relationship with her or any of those people, because we don't align, you know? And what's meant for me is meant for me, and who I'm meant for, like, it'll align, and I won't have to make myself small or bend my values. We're gonna move because my kids are moving a little bit, and I'm gonna let this set. So, I'm sitting on the floor right now. My house is a mess. If you can see in the background, it's fine. Drinking my sparkling water. I finally feel like so calm and in such a good space. I feel free. Like, I'm putting myself out there. I'm healing. I'm sorry, I'm like going in circles. Like doing this, posting videos. This is an act of letting go, of just going into that space of like allowing myself to be vulnerable and to continue like sharing my story and not giving into the fear of the unknown, the fear of potential retaliation. Yeah, sorry. This video is like all over the place. What I'm trying to say is I feel so connected to God, to the universe at this point, and I feel so connected to myself, and I know that the love, thank you, Spirit, I know that the love that I have really started feeling for myself and within myself is just going to continue to grow as I continue on this journey, because like I will just appreciate myself that much more. But like 6 months ago, it was really hard. That was when I first, like, I started being vulnerable and writing out my feelings, and then like getting those out was one thing, but then sharing them like with the world was another. I'm working on a project right now, and I'm not gonna say anything because I don't want to like share about specifics and then like it fall through. But I'm working on a project that I am like, first of all, like I'm just gonna say I'm working on a project, and I'm really like it just came out like it was a flow state of like when I started writing it and stuff. And I don't know, I'm really excited for like what the future has to hold. If you see me looking, I have one monitor over here and one monitor over here for my kids. But yeah, I have been pushing myself, like God has been directing me, and like I feel like I'm learning to balance, like learning when to go into hermit mode and like allowing myself to rest and like regain energy, you know, and then also like continuing to like when I feel like my cup is full and I can, like putting myself out there, making myself uncomfortable, in the sense of like, you know, I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I was in hermit mode for like 3 years essentially, and like I'm relearning how to put myself out there, relearning a lot, to be honest. I'm rewiring my whole like nervous system and brain, or I have been for the past like year. And like, you know, our brain will tell us these stories, like our ego will tell us these stories, and part of like our jobs as humans is like, first of all, like realizing like we're living the human experience and what does that mean for you, and also like learning to differentiate the voice inside of you that actually comes from within and that actually is you, and then also differentiating between the voice that you were conditioned, the fear that you were conditioned to believe that actually isn't you at all. It's, your caregivers, your teachers, like friends, like it's that voice, that inner voice that was created over time from being conditioned to live a certain way, based off of, society's expectations, or again, those different roles that were in charge of you when you were growing up. And so, yeah, I'm learning to let go. I'm learning to live freely, to push myself, to be okay being vulnerable. And also knowing that sometimes, even when you are vulnerable, like, some people aren't gonna like you. Some people aren't gonna connect with you, or they're gonna project on you. And learning that's okay, that I'm not here to be a people pleaser. I'm not here to be easily digestible. Like, I'm here and I'm allowed to take up space, and like learning to live in being okay taking up space. My daughter just woke up, but if this video found you, I just want to say, like, there is so much going on in the world right now, and if you're living in the US, which I am, it can be so overwhelming turning on the news, and it can feel hopeless, but I am continuing to have hope. I'm continuing to not let the darkness win, not let fear take over, and I'm leaning on God, the universe, my guides, my angels, to lead me down a path of hope. And I am willing to be vulnerable and connect with others, and trying to like live in the present, but also just, yeah, if this video found you, I'm hoping that what you'll take away from it is that there is hope. Don't give in to the darkness. Continue fighting for what you believe in. Continue using your voice, and don't let the darkness win. Don't let fear win.